Start the recording. Hello guys, good afternoon. This is Droleti Lewis from the Gold Diggers. So to continue with the project that we have been going on, Credit Hunt, as you can see, those are the names of the authors and then the group and the affiliated university. So onto the next slide, this is the contents of our presentation. As you can see, they run from 1 to 14. Now, going to the next slide, what you're seeing is the background. So basically, the terms and conditions for obtaining loans, I think we've been talking about this for quite some time. They're quite very bad in a way that most of these low scale producers are not able to access loans because those who provide the loans do not have actual data about them. So that's one problem that we're trying to maneuver by developing our system. Now, onto the next slide, basically is the significance. We believe the project is very significant. First of all, for the fact that it comes down to the fact that these agencies actually need accurate data. We believe it's actually a two-way system. The farmers are benefiting in a way that we have the data about them, and also the credit providers were raising their confidence. So that kind of explains how significant the entire project is, because it's a two-way thing where we are availing data for both parties to benefit. So the scope, first of all, geographically, it will mainly be centered around the center, partly because the data is easier to access and the bulk of the producers also found in the center. And then technically, it will be web-based, and whoever has our application or the system as a whole, based on the fact that there is actually internet access, they can be able to use it. So geographically, it's the center. Technically, just need a web base. You need good internet connection, good internet, which is fast to be able to access it. And then onto the next slide is our problem statement. So there is lack of accurate data to verify the credit worthiness of subsistence farmers so as to enable them access credit facilities. However, with the right data and information available, the credit provider's confidence can be raised as the farmers can be rated based on their ability to pay. So that's what we're going to mainly be focusing on, rating these producers based on their ability to pay. And then so coming to our objectives, first of all, the main objective is to determine the amount of credit needed to subsidize the subsistence farmers. And this is going to be done in a way that when it's going to be done in a way that once, for example, a farmer is rated A plus or A or B or C, the A, B or C basically is going to form the basis for a scale on which the amount, it's going to form the basis for the amount that can be provided to this gauge. It will be more like a scale. And then the second objective is to classify the borrowers into different classes based on their credibility. And the third one is to determine the relative income of the subsistence farmers, as it will also play a very big role in determining the amount of credit to be issued. So onto the next slide, a set of our research questions. First of all, we're going to try to get the basic data of the individuals, because it's going to be very fundamental in helping us to formulate their ability, the basic data. Different sets of people based on their different age, gender, maybe their background. It plays a very big role in their ability to repay these loans. For example, someone who is cool or someone who has an idea, background of the activity that they're borrowing money for is going to find it way easier to actually pay back. So we're going to get the biodata, find out the educational background, the area of the activity, district, the county, parish, village, and all that. And then also, we're going to, next slide, please. We're going to find out about the annual income, the crops they deal with in and at what scale, the purpose of the loan, if they have collateral or not. Yeah, Those questions, once we get that information, it's going to form the fundamental basis for our data sets, for which we shall be using into our project to be able to rate this case. So onto the next slide, it's basically the methodology for how the system is going to work. So we're going to first of all, after we have got the biodata, please, can you go back to the next slide, the upper slide, the methodology slide? We're going to get the biodata, and then we're going to classify this gaze based on different things. It could be maybe those in a certain educational background will be classified together, those with collateral and all that. And then once they've been classified, that data is again, the output from it is going to be further classified and be distilled into finer forms, you get. And then after that, it will be combined, and then the final output will be given based on the data that has been classified about them, and the credits, their ratings will be assigned to them. So that's the basic methodology of how the project is going to be. And then onto the next slide, basically, onto the next slide, a set of hypotheses that we believe that we're trying to prove are actually true based on our conviction. First of all, we believe that the main hypothesis is that most of the farmers have an A+ rating for the standards of a low-scale microborrower. Now, keyword, low-scale microborrower. So we believe these guys actually do qualify, and we're trying to prove that they do by providing that data. The second one is we believe financial institutions will have confidence in extending credit facilities to the producers. And then the third one is there will also be reduced risk of default on the payment of the loans by the producers. Now, once we do have this data, we shall be able to prove all these hypotheses are actually true. Our main aim in the process will be trying to validate them. And then in conclusion, we believe that providing this credit facilities, providing the credit providers with the right amount of information to boost their confidence in lending to this given faction of the economy will help in raising their income, first of all. And then we also believe this will be key in elevating them out of their low income bracket, because for any business, for any economic activity to actually work, to be able to scale, we need credit facilities, we need loans. And this is what we are trying to prove in conclusion, that this will actually enable them raise their standards and develop the nation as a whole. So part of our future works will come down to partnering with government agencies, because they do have some of these projects in place. So we believe they can, with the right incentives in place, we can partner with them to extend the facilities to the farmers. And then onto the next slide, basically, is a set of references showing you how the system will work, the basic information from educational articles and all that, things that we read and we carried out research, and then we found that they're able to work. And the acknowledgements basically go to the group members, and then also the local banks in Uganda, especially the central bank, that has written extensively about the challenges in extending credit to their credit providers. Thank you very much. This is the Gold Diggers, and that's our presentation for this time. How long? First combat, Ayla, we have 14 minutes. Hope it's not very long.